Hey everyone, welcome to Your First Digital Product, a show that helps maxed out service providers create their first digital product so they can gain an additional income stream, grow their impact without increasing one-on-one work, and experience more time freedom. On the show, I talk to business owners who have launched digital products and dig deep into how you can create, launch, and market your first digital product. I'm your host, Renee Morozowicz. Let's go. Hey everyone, today I'm here with Emily, and Emily is a MailChimp Pro partner and has been working with brands and clients for the last 8 years to grow their businesses with email marketing. Love email marketing. Emily is based outside of Chicago and has 3 little ones. Hey Emily.
Hi, thank you for having me. This is
Yay, I'm so excited
exciting.
you're here. Yes. I love email marketing, so I'm going to try not to talk to you all about email marketing. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about yourself before we dive into your
Yeah.
product?
Yeah. So I've been doing this about 8 years. I wanted to find a way to work from home. I had lived in New York City many years I worked for a startup and a nonprofit. And I hated office life. I hated
Mm,
into a 9 to 5 job. I wanted to be at home. So I had the opportunity to kind of work from home for that company and eventually discovered I could start my own business. And literally started with one client and over 8 years have really built a business. There's 3 of us that kind of work together every day. And we serve like 20 to 25 clients a month, doing everything from, designing emails to training, MailChimp training. We're very heavily focused on MailChimp as a platform,
mhm.
but we have worked in other email platforms as well. But we love MailChimp and we are MailChimp partners. So we do a lot with them as well. Um, and yeah, I'm obsessed with email marketing because I've seen, what it can do to
Mhm,
grow someone's business. It's like insane what can happen with a single email, like a
mhm.
single email that takes maybe 10 minutes to create can literally make you a lot of money. Um, so I really love my work and yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think email is so important. I'm sure at some point I'll talk on the show or have a blog post or whatever that like you should have an email list. Everybody should have an email list. It doesn't matter. I'm sure that you might agree. It doesn't matter how big it is. It just matters how engaged people are.
Yeah.
And I think that people need help with MailChimp because why do they put things in the places they put things? Like, why do they call things certain things? I'm like, why do
I
you put that
know.
welcome email here? Like, I don't know. It's
I
a
know.
weird thought.
And they're constantly working to improve the
Mhm,
platform and it's amazing what they do to kind of listen to us partners especially to
mhm,
hear
mhm.
what we're not having or we're having trouble with and
Yes.
always trying to improve it. So
Yeah, that's awesome. You have a product already. You have some templates. Like, was that your first digital product? The MailChimp templates that you have?
yeah, so my dream has always been to create a digital product, really to have passive income.
Mhm,
Serving clients is hard. We
mhm,
all know this. Like having a service-based business is is exhausting. So it's always been a dream. I've followed like Laura Belgray,
mhm,
Marie Forleo, like all these big
mhm,
people, Jenna Kutcher, these women who are making like millions, with their courses.
mhm.
And just blows my mind, like, what they've done. So I have always had that in the back of my head, like, ultimate goal is to create a product. So originally I started with a course. I wanted to create a MailChimp course. Um, I thought that was like a no-brainer.
Mhm,
Uh, MailChimp 101 or it was really called MailChimp Rockstar, and it was gonna be, just a really comprehensive MailChimp course. And I used Thinkific, when I
mhm.
first started to create this course. I had looked around at several platforms, and I really loved this platform. Um, but the more and more I was working on it, it was so daunting. Like I could not get this course done. I had made the whole outline of the course. I had created graphics for each section. Um, but it was I've never been overwhelmed with helping clients. Like I'll have 20
Mhm,
clients that all need something today, but I could not get this course done and it's still not
mhm,
done. Um, and so I think what happened was I wanted, MailChimp can do a lot of stuff. And you're talking email marketing, which I could literally write a book, a
mhm,
novel about. So here I am trying to put this into a course. And so I realized over time, like, I shouldn't be creating a full MailChimp course. I need to hone in on one thing, like maybe
Mhm.
how to create automations in MailChimp or design. Like, let's just focus on designing a great email. And a good friend of mine said, Emily, you're trying to do too much. Like,
Mhm.
just scale back. So yeah, so I have a course that I've been working on, still in progress. So that was really where I first started. And from there, I actually went to creating paid kind of workshops.
Mhm.
Paid workshops was my next product through. Then I used Gumroad, which I love. Have you ever used Gumroad?
Yes, yeah.
I
Yeah, it's
love
very easy.
it.
Yes.
Oh my
Mhm.
gosh, it's so great. Um, so I was like, I kind of just wanted to test it and see,
Mhm.
like, people pay to come to an hour workshop with me. Um, you never think people would do that.
Mhm.
So I started and I was blown away. Like, oh my gosh, like people actually are paying and all I have to do is like come and teach for an hour. Like this is
Yeah.
great. So I did quite a few of those. I was trying to do like one a month, um, and realized it was a lot of work because I needed to heavily promote it,
Mhm.
create a lot of emails to market it. So quite a bit of work, but honestly, not crazy. I could
Mhm.
probably bust out the whole marketing effort in a couple hours. Um, so I've really enjoyed doing that, and I'm still kind of testing that. I did one class was like $79 and then the next one was I was like, "Let's do like a cheaper one, like
Mhm.
$29." Um, and I was like, "Okay, this $29 one was not worth it because
Mhm.
the amount of money it generated was just not worth the time I had spent,
Right.
preparing for this." So still testing that, but really love like I used to be a performer. I was a singer and dancer
Oh,
back
awesome.
way back in my past
Mhm.
life, and that's why I moved to New York originally. And so it feels a little bit like I'm performing when
Mhm.
I do a workshop or a webinar, or even like this. Like it's kind of fun for
Yeah,
me.
for sure. That's awesome.
So yeah, so I did some of those, and then we're always my sister is my business partner
Mhm.
and, she and I have worked together with this business for years, and we're always trying to come up with ways to, sell a product.
Mhm.
And so then we're like, okay, well, what if we sold, some email templates? Like, we've created thousands of templates
Mhm.
and we've saved them all. Like, I have every template we've made in our MailChimp account, um, hundreds of newsletters, crazy. Like, why are we could sell these.
Mhm.
So we found out there's this whole business on Etsy, so and we can dive into that more, but, we
Yeah, me too.
started kind of creating some listings in Etsy
Mhm.
selling MailChimp templates that people can download the file and import into their MailChimp account.
Mhm.
So that's really where we're at right now with products, but, yeah.
Yeah, super easy. Like I love that like a template. And I think a template is so actionable for people, right? They're maybe not good at the design or I'm sure it's more than just design, right? Like you're putting calls to action and certain it's marketing strategy kind of baked
Yeah,
into the template and people just import that like they could see really great results so easily,
yeah,
for I'm not sure how they're priced, but, probably, not hundreds and hundreds of dollars, so people can see a quick return. It's very easy for them to, to use and implement, so I think that's awesome. I know you have a store too. Have you seen a difference in the storefront versus the Etsy? Some people will ask like, "Where should I list my product?" And we're kind of diving into at some point, like, does it matter, if it's on Gumroad or if it's on your website or if it's on Etsy or where? Do you have any thoughts on that?
yeah, I mean, I think it does matter. Etsy is very competitive. I mean, if you search MailChimp template, there are thousands and thousands of listings, and it's very hard to get onto that first page.
Mhm.
Like, you have to sell a lot to get onto that first page, but you need to sell a lot.
Yeah.
It's very challenging. Um, I think obviously if you create your own shop and your own website, you have full control over the SEO of your website and
Mhm.
getting, if you want to run Google ads to your store or Facebook ads or whatever it is. I think your own storefront is always a great idea.
Mhm.
Or you can use Gumroad as
Mhm.
your storefront. Um, any platform like that. But
Mhm.
I definitely think when you have control over the algorithm instead of
Yes,
Etsy
yes.
deciding,
Mhm,
uh, that's going to be
mhm.
more effective.
But regardless, I guess also there's marketing involved, right? Like a lot of people are like, I built the product and then that's it. It's, I have a background in like web development. It's the same thing. People are like, I built the website. Like, why is no one coming to the website? Well, you still have to market the product. You have to let people know it's available repeatedly. People have to hear things multiple times. And, there's always new people coming along. So, if it's the fourth time you've said something, it's just the first time they're hearing it. So, kind of some repeated marketing, I think is important for any product on any platform.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing I always noticed with all the big course creators that I follow. Their marketing is, I mean, they are literally sending emails every day. Like
Hmm.
Tarzan K is another. She has an email course, literally an email every single day, and Laura Belgray every single day. And it's hard. Like that
Hmm.
is people think, "Oh, okay, we're going to create this course, and then I'm just going to make money and let it run." But you
Yes.
have to continually market it. You're right.
Yes. And I would think with something like MailChimp, like it changes. So, what would your approach be for how often you're updating it? Would people who purchased it get access to those updates forever or not forever?
I
I
think
think
it's
that's simple.
really that's really tricky, and that's why I really got overwhelmed doing, like, a comprehensive,
Hmm.
like, learn MailChimp course, because I'd rather focus on something more kind of email marketing related that
Hmm.
doesn't change. Like, okay, how do we design an effective email? And
Hmm.
yes, I could say design an effective MailChimp email, but really it's about designing a great email in any platform.
Right,
Um,
right,
so it's not necessarily specific to
right.
that.
So I'll give you an idea that I stole from somebody else. So
Ooh,
Joe Casabona was
yes.
on the show. So I'll point you to it, and I'll point the listeners to it as well. But he created a course before too about podcasting, and his experience was, and this blew my mind because I am not this kind of person, that people would take the course in a non-linear fashion. So people would just jump to the section that they wanted to learn about.
Hmm.
And this for me, like, that's not like I'm taking it from the beginning and I'm going in a line and I'm going to sit through the end. But people out there who are just jumping around with the videos. So he transitioned and now he calls it a playbook
Hmm.
where all those videos still exist, but people can just jump around. And he calls them plays. I think it's like a baseball thing. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
So if people are interested in design, let's kind of bring it back to your example here. People are interested in email design. Maybe you have 1, 2, 3 videos about email design. People are interested in um, automation. You have a couple videos about automation. So they
Yeah.
can watch them in a certain order or they don't have to watch them in a certain order. But
Love
all
that.
together, it's a package. It's a package of things. And maybe a good way to kind of create that package would be to just keep doing these webinars or
Yes.
whatever you're calling the workshops.
Yeah.
There's a lot of words for this
Yeah.
kind of thing. Do these and then roll them into a package of like,
Yeah.
here's all the things, and then maybe it's a membership, maybe people pay like a monthly fee and they get access to all these past videos. Maybe they get access to the live videos. So when you do them live, people are asking questions. So people want to come to them live because you're answering those questions live,
Right.
and that's more exciting for them. And then maybe, they could even be a certain price for a certain amount of time. And then they go like into, you remember the Disney Vault? And I'm not sure how old you are, but
Yes.
do you remember the
Yes.
Disney Vault?
Yes. Oh my
Where
gosh.
like you couldn't get the videos after a certain amount of time. So I
Yeah.
guess maybe what I'm trying to say is, in a jumbled way, if you kept doing what you're doing, I wonder if the course would actually build itself without being
Yeah.
called a course. It would just
Yeah.
be
And
a
it's
nice
it
collection.
I love that. And I do a lot of small speaking.
Mhm.
Spoken about MailChimp so many times, and there's no reason we shouldn't use that and
Yes.
put it into
Hmm.
something. Even if I were to only bundle 3 or 4 of them and say,
Hmm.
here's my 4 workshops
Hmm.
for this one bundle. I like the word bundle.
Hmm. Yeah,
Um,
bundles are good.
yeah, that's brilliant. I need to
And
think about do
some
that.
free maybe, maybe there's, a lot of these platforms, I think, did you mention Thinkific? I have a lot of these in my mind here, but, a lot of them will allow you to do a free course. So it's a free mini, maybe it's just one of those past workshops. And, to people, it's an easy
Yeah.
in for them. They're like, okay, well, this is I'm just going to test this out. It's only an
Yeah.
hour. They're kind of getting a nice taste. They can take something back and implement it really quickly. And then they're like, I love Emily. I need everything else she ever says.
Yeah.
Give me it all.
Oh,
And
that
I've seen this sort of thing that like people, once they know you and they like you and they trust you, then they want more. They're like, okay,
and
I know she can help. She helped me with this thing. I know she can help me with the rest of the things. Tell me everything else you know about MailChimp. So,
oh,
I feel like that might be a good way to kind of get that course
totally.
built without calling it a course. I don't like
Yeah.
courses.
I think when I think back to creating that, I put so much pressure on myself to create this like, and I
Mhm,
even like was posting on social, like, you guys, it's coming, like
mhm,
MailChimp course is coming. I put so much pressure to make this in like
mhm.
amazing course. And I wanted to do a lot of videos. So I wanted to speak and do a lot of videos through the course. And I have 3 kids. And I was like, when am I going to record
Right, right.
like really
Yeah.
and edit, record and
Mhm,
edit, like professional looking, and so that's really what, stopped me because I was like, "I can't get these videos, like, for
mhm.
this course done." And so
And
that was the hardest part.
that's the other thing
But
about
I could do a live
live
one.
people don't expect an edited. They expect, like, all the not that, like, the kids are running in the background, but, like,
Yeah,
like, carving out an hour might be more manageable, and then you don't have to edit. People, they want to come live because, the chance that you might answer their specific question, and then if they can't get it live, if it's
right.
in the membership or whatever, they can watch it later, and again, they know it was live, so they don't expect it to be, with, like, the sliders, like your name and MailChimp and the little like all the
Yeah,
graphics and stuff like that, they don't expect that. So, it's a much more, realistic but I think ultimately people just want their problems solved. So, the video
exactly.
doesn't have to be any sort of specific quality as long as the content is good. That's kind of
So true, that's
opinion
so true.
my opinion on things. So, anyway,
Yeah,
okay, let's maybe talk a little bit about your audience. So, what type of business do you work with, and who would be the audience for these sorts of things, like these templates
yeah,
specifically, or who would you market this kind of
yeah.
stuff to?
And I think that is, like, the number one question, especially if you're building a course, like, "Okay, who is this for?"
Yeah,
Like,
who's going
and
to buy it? Yeah.
I actually had a hard time with that because I kind of have a very mixed audience of people. So, I have quite a few people that are like virtual assistants or that are literally doing the same work that I do. So they just need to learn MailChimp for their clients or for their job,
Hmm.
like other women like me. Um, but then I would say most are these very small business owners, solo entrepreneurs, that know they need to send an email and they just don't have time.
Hmm.
Um, and we actually do a lot of one-on-one training of Mailchimp, and it is the same type of client. A lot of these, realtors, solo entrepreneurs
Hmm.
that just need a hand.
Right.
Um, so that was really the audience, and especially for templates. When we first started, creating this template shop, we're like, let's kind of, and on Etsy they have so many just like general newsletters. We're
Hmm.
like, let's be really specific.
Yeah.
We are constantly getting leads from realtors, because every realtor sends a newsletter. It's
Hmm.
it's this whole thing. So we are like, let's create a really amazing real estate newsletter or a couple different ones. So that's what we first put on Etsy. They were realtor newsletters. Um, there's like a huge market for that. And for some reason a lot of them use MailChimp. So yeah, so that's kind of who the audience is.
I feel like that's a great start. Like, you could hone in on that. Like, if you did some workshops specifically for realtors
Mhm.
and packaged it for realtors, like, I don't know, what are the 5 things that realtors need to know when based on if you worked with them coaching, what are the things that they need to know? You already know that. So
Yeah.
if you package it up, like I mentioned, a live workshop or even a small group, like, hey, small group of realtors, we're doing a 6-week class, and maybe you get templates, like maybe included with it, you get extra templates, and you get maybe like, I don't know, office hours or something where they can come in and ask their questions. So it's like a 6-week thing. And then after it was done, you bundle it up and sell it to all the incoming realtors that are knocking on your door after that. Like it's because it's
That's
already vetted.
brilliant.
People have already come through and you've already
Yeah.
answered their specific questions, you know exactly. And I bet, and I don't know, tell me if I'm wrong, like you don't have all the time in the world just to work with every realtor that comes
No.
knocking on your door. So this would
That's
be something
so
to offer
smart.
them.
Oh my
You'd be able
gosh,
to
that's
offer them
so smart.
something.
Yeah, I didn't think about, like, bringing them all together and doing a workshop specific
Mhm,
to that's so smart, and I have not really seen that done. So that is yeah, I'm, like, taking notes.
mhm. Yeah, and selling it afterwards
But it's
because
like it's crazy because we get a lot of the same industries. We
mhm,
we actually get leads that come from Mailchimp because they have an expert directory,
mhm,
and we get a lot of leads from there, thankfully. And it's like real estate. There's like a lot of mortgage brokers, like these very
yeah,
small businesses.
yeah,
Even
like
yeah, it's crazy.
the mortgage broker package, like, here's the templates
Yes.
that you need as a mortgage broker. Here's how to segment your list. Here's how to, I don't know, make a landing page for people to sign up. Here's how to import your existing list. Here are the people that you're allowed to put on your list, right? You're not just allowed to
Mhm.
put anybody on your list, like that kind of. I feel like maybe people don't know that. Just all the things that they specifically need to know that you can create for them.
It would also be a kind of a dream for, you know, working with realtors can be very challenging,
Hmm.
because many of them just want one newsletter sent every month, and
Hmm.
we typically don't do that anymore because it's a lot of work just
Hmm.
to have a client that you just send one email a month for. Like,
Hmm.
we typically are like, "Okay, we at least need to do 2 to 4 emails a month for you."
Yeah.
But if I could say, "Hey, listen, we'd love to work with you, but I have this other package. Go check this out. Like,
Hmm.
this is what you need." And I could just send people, like,
Yes.
it's like
Yes.
sending people to the FAQ page. Like,
Yes.
I I can't really help you right now, but just go
Yes.
here and get that.
Correct. Yes. Something that is, because hopefully your prices are such that not everybody can afford you. So for the people who are right underneath that threshold, here is something it's a DIY, you can take it and
Yes.
go. And so tell me a little bit more about these. I noticed on your website you have some calls. People can book a
Mhm.
call, like a half hour call or an hour call. Do you do a lot
Yeah.
of those?
Yes. Um, a lot of people need Mailchimp training,
Hmm.
and you can actually in the Mailchimp directory, you can search for just people who do training. So we created a Calendly page,
Hmm.
and it's all automated. So we offer 30 minutes and 60-minute Mailchimp training, and anything you want, email marketing
Hmm.
or Mailchimp related. So basically, you come with your questions, we'll answer them live,
Hmm.
or we can. I even tell people, I'm like, listen, we can create your template live, and it's actually cheaper than me creating your
Hmm.
template for you.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's like kind of a good deal. And they're priced pretty high. Our 1 hour calls are $300,
Hmm.
which is a lot for an hour for a lot of
Hmm.
people. Um, but I did that because I have children and I can
Yeah.
only do so many per week.
Right.
Um, so I price them pretty high, but people buy them.
Hmm.
It's really cool. So they go to that link, they click the 60-minute call, it sends them an email, it sends them a follow-up with like, okay, hey, here are a couple questions before a call. Let me connect to your MailChimp account. Um, and I literally just show up. Like, I get a
Hmm.
notification and I know what questions they're coming with. And it's so fun because it's not like I have to do a ton of work. I
Prepare
just
and do all the things.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, and you can get
it's
it done. That's, like, I sometimes struggle to get something done in that amount of time. Like, you're pretty focused then and you have, like, you're on it, like, is how does that work?
yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I have very specific blocks of time that we offer these. And I've done a lot. Like for me, it's kind of my favorite thing. My favorite thing to do
Oh, cool.
is mail. I love people that know that email is important and
Mhm.
they just need help. And
They just yes. Mhm.
yeah, like, oh, Emily, can you show me how to do this in Mailchimp? Yes, and
Mhm.
I share my screen and I record it and then get them the recording after.
Mhm.
And sometimes I'll send them some resources after. But it's all like a pretty automated process,
Mhm.
which is so
That's
fun.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about, like, I guess I'm trying to think about how you could, even though you're charging a good bit, how you could maybe maximize a little bit more off of that while still giving you what you want. What about, like, some sort of office hours where, it's X amount of money and you take up maybe to 10 people and,
Yes.
here's the time and here's, you have to submit your questions ahead of time.
and maybe you only take a certain number of questions, or I don't know, something like that where
I was thinking of doing
you can
something
get
similar.
more because the one-on-one, I feel like you're just limited based on your time. Like, at some
Okay.
point, you're like, "I don't have any more one-on-one time for people." So, like, is there a way that you can serve more people in that same amount of time? And is it beneficial to people? I'm thinking yes, but you tell me, to see you working in other people's accounts, like, to see you like,
Oh,
"Oh,
yeah.
hey, they're doing that thing." So, it
Yeah.
might even be more beneficial for them to attend something like that where they're actually getting a little more exposure to what other people are doing instead of kind of in their own bubble
Yeah.
with their own list and their own account.
Yeah.
Like,
Watching someone create an
yeah.
email live for you is so helpful. I mean, I signed up for a webinar to watch someone live code an email. And I can't wait because
Ooh,
we don't do like we do some
yeah.
coding. We aren't heavy like
Mhm,
email coders. So I'm excited to watch that. But I've thought about that. Like how can I was always saying a mastermind, which I don't like,
mhm,
but how can we do kind of a group thing where it's, 5 to 10 people and you
mhm.
get, once a week or whatever it is, once every 2 weeks,
Yeah,
we
mhm,
get together and we dive in.
yeah.
And I really think there would be people that would jump on that.
Mhm.
How do you
You
price that?
like a cohort of people, be like, "Hey, we do a 3-month cohort. It's, biweekly calls, and it's X amount of money. You submit your questions ahead of time. I connect all of your accounts." Maybe you have some kind of disclaimer that you're looking at other people's accounts and they're not gonna say anything, or, something like that. It's Zoom calls, you get access to the recordings.
Mm,
There's a I don't know, maybe there's a Slack group or something where they can ask a couple questions offline, and you could have different levels too of you could it's an experiment, right? Like,
yes.
you kinda
Oh,
put something together and like, "Okay, how did this work? They bothered me too much. They had
yeah.
too many questions, can I charge more? Or can I answer those questions in some other way proactively?" Like, maybe everybody always has this one specific question, and you have some maybe pre-recorded workshop that you're like, "Hey, everybody has to watch this first before you're allowed in the cohort, because I can't have
Mhm.
anybody not knowing this thing." Something like
Yes.
that.
Oh,
Like,
that's so brilliant. Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah, my wheels are spinning. Yeah, but it's always like, okay, what do you charge for that? If you're doing something over 3 months, like it's gotta
Mhm.
be, and I've seen other people do, email boot camp someone did, and it was I thought it was very expensive. And I'm always like, oh, I couldn't charge like $4,000 for something, like that. But
But it's a
uh
test. I think it's a test. I think it's, like you mentioned, you said something about, it wasn't worth my time for the money. And I think that's kind of the litmus. If you feel good, like, "Okay, I'm showing up to this thing. I like to do it. I'm making a good amount of money." Like, you probably need to be charging more. Um, but I think you can experiment with it. You could probably do some, kind of calculations. "Okay, I think it's gonna take me about X hours a week
yeah.
over X weeks. Don't forget your administrative time and all that kind of stuff." You could probably come up with a rough price, but see who bites and how quickly they bite, how quickly it fills up. If it fills
Yeah.
up in 10 minutes, like, okay, next time it'll be more.
Yeah.
So I think you can play, and I think that's the most fun, right? I think experimenting with those things to see, like, I bet at one point you didn't have those one-on-one calls, right? Like,
Yeah.
that wasn't something you offered, and then you came across it and you're like, "I love this.
Yeah.
This is
So fun.
amazing." So,
Yeah, it's just so nice too because you don't have to like the relationship is 1 hour. Like you
yes.
do a training and then
Mhm,
although it often leads to other work, they usually
mhm,
come back and they say, "Oh, can you help me also do this?" But
mhm,
it's kind of nice just to have a one and done and not
mhm,
have because we have a lot of clients that are monthly
mhm,
revolving. We've had some clients for years. So it is kind of fun to have this like, okay, you get 1 hour and then we're kind of
mhm.
done.
Yes, yes.
I
Yeah, the
don't
commitment is right. Yeah,
yeah.
it's not so much of you, you're giving a lot, right? You're giving a lot
Yes.
in a lot of areas of your life, just to be like, "Here's the thing, bye-bye now." Like, I don't know, I think feels good.
Yeah. There's just so
Yeah.
much. And
Mhm,
even thinking about this, like the cohorts, like, okay, how do I find time within my service-based, very busy client business that I barely have time for, to build this out? Like,
mhm.
okay, I would need a really great landing page, um, if I wanted to do 3-month cohort, like, finding the time to build that out is my issue.
Yeah. Well, I would you didn't ask, but I'm gonna tell you anyway. what I think because this is my
I love it.
podcast.
Yeah.
Um, I would put the word beta on it, and then people's expectations
Oh,
adjust. They don't
mm,
need the
so
fancy landing
true.
page. They don't expect other things. Like,
Huh.
hey, you all, you are my guinea pigs. I'm not sure if you've seen White Christmas, but he talks about guinea pigs and White Christmas, right? Like
Yes,
when they
yes.
bring the show.
Oh,
So if you put beta, hey, audience, I'm trying something new. I think that there's a need out there. I've worked with a lot of you one on one. I see you needing help. You're coming to me. I want to be able to help more people.
mhm,
And I think that a group would allow you all to help each other. So I'm
mm,
building this thing out. Here's what's involved. If you want to sign up, this is when it starts. And I think that beta really puts
huge.
like a yeah, like the
Yeah, I would not
pressure
have thought of
way
that.
down. You can do it more week to week. But I would, and I'd be happy to look at if you wanted to kind of map it out, like what it would look like, to give you some thoughts on that might be too much. Or what if you scaled this back? Or what if you charged extra for that? Because you don't need to offer so many things to people. Like you don't have to give them every single thing that they could ever possibly want. They
Yeah,
can't consume that. It's too much for them and it's too much for you. So
right.
I think like,
That was always
yeah,
my hang up. Yeah. Like,
they'll get more if you give less. I think
yes.
is like, or maybe that's a t-shirt. Because they'll be able to absorb it. Like if
Yeah.
you give less but more specific, like, okay, this is a specific problem. Here's the specific answer to it instead of like, here's every feature and every single thing that MailChimp can do. Like they don't need to know those things. They just need to
Right.
know what they need to know where they are. So
Right. And I think that's what I've loved about Gumroad because I just found it like so because creating a landing page to me was always overwhelming. Like
mhm.
which is funny because I do it for clients all the time. But
Totally different
I
to when it's
yeah.
yourself, night and day, night and day.
Yes. But in Gumroad, it's like I just created a page. I
Mhm,
literally picked a date. I was like, "Oh, that Thursday looks pretty good,"
mhm,
and filled in a little bit of text. And I was like, people don't have a lot of time. So, my last workshop was it was like learn A/B testing in 30 minutes.
mhm,
And I was like, this is great because like it's super easy. Like we have 30 minutes. You're not going to get some comprehensive A/B testing
mhm,
course. Like, I'm going to go into Mailchimp and I'm going to show you how to do it, and then you're going to walk away knowing how to set up an A/B
mhm,
test. So really like really
mhm.
simplifying the offer. Yeah, that was
Because it's
huge.
a complex thing, and I feel like when you're first starting to teach somebody about A/B testing, like, you just need to tell them what it is first before you teach them all the nuance and all the things, like, they have to learn one thing at a time. So,
Right.
giving them all those things at once, I think is too much, but giving them that first thing, I think is so important. Like, "Okay, this is what it is. Here's how to do it. Go try it for a while. When you're ready for the next step is I don't know what the next step is, but,
Yeah.
the next step is this, or here's some additional thoughts about it. Maybe that's another workshop or another video, like something that it's later. It's the next thing. It's not,
Yes.
it's this thing. Like, yeah. So,
Totally. Yes. Yeah, now I feel like you're just giving me some amazing, amazing ideas
hopefully
here.
not
So
too
thank you for
many
that.
things. Sometimes
Yeah,
I like
totally.
overwhelm people with all them, like,
No,
hopefully
it's
ideas, but I love the ideas.
so great. So great.
Yay. So, can you think of maybe 2 to 3 things that you recommend for somebody? So, you've launched some templates, you've attempted to launch a course. What are maybe some things that, just to kind of recap, that you are glad that you
Yeah.
did or wish you had done differently?
Yeah, and I think you kind of just touched on it. I think start small. Like start small. Don't say, "Okay, I'm going to create this massive course." Um, I've seen several friends. They literally start with a mini course. They
Mhm,
call it, um, and make it mini. Like make a mini course for 29-39 bucks. That is something very simple for you to create over a weekend. Um, a friend of mine said, literally, Emily, just sit down with a pad, a notepad, and just make your little outline, make an
mhm,
outline of your course. But I think really thinking about also like you have to know who this is for,
mhm,
uh, and what it is that they really need help with.
mhm,
And as an email marketer, I do get a lot of the same questions. Like we literally have like the like how do I grow my email list? How do I get more clicks? Like the same questions over and over. So those questions that people ask you, that's what you need to build.
Mhm.
Uh, how do I increase my open rates? Like we could build a
Mhm.
whole course on that. So really figuring out what the problem is that you want to solve. I know it sounds cliche, but that really is the name of the game.
Yeah.
And you're right, like, it doesn't have to be some, like, super edited. I was so hung up on that, like, I needed to have, like, subtitles or, like, like, nice
Yeah. I
and
know. Yeah.
no, give me simple.
Mhm.
And I think what was really helpful is, like, actually going and signing up for a platform.
Mhm.
Um, I know Thinkific, they assign you someone for onboarding, and I had, like, a couple calls with them, and they were
Oh, wow.
so helpful, and they literally gave me deadlines. They're like, "Okay,
Oh,
uh,
nice.
I think I did pay something
Mhm.
minimal to have, like, an extra hand."
Mhm.
Um, and they would, like, give me deadlines. They were like, "Okay, next Friday, I want you to come back, and I want you to have your" in Thinkific, like, "I want you to have this checkout page built or this page ready,
Interesting.
or just have your thumbnails, like, just have these ready." And so it really helped me just to have someone, kind of push me a little bit.
Yeah.
Um but yeah, and also think out of the box from doing a course. Like,
Mhm.
the course world is, there's so many courses. Like, what
Yes.
other digital products? What's interesting. Are you on TikTok at all?
I'm not a super big video person, but tell me about it anyway.
Oh, I love the TikTok. But people don't realize that the TikTok is not just like kids dancing. Like
Mhm.
it's everything. There's like cooking videos. There's I don't know. I somehow get a feed of like a lot of digital product people. Um,
Interesting. Okay. All
but,
right. So I'll be heading
I
over to TikTok.
there's this woman that gives an idea every day for a different digital product, and she was just talking about making, like, a journal. She was like, "You" and she literally told how to do it. Like, you get, like, this company, you make the cover in Canva, it's literally a blank journal, and this company prints it, and you sell it on Amazon. And these
Wow.
people had, like, 11,000 sales for a
What?
literally a paper journal that, like,
Wow.
could make the cover on
Hmm.
Amazon. So
Interesting.
there are so many things like that. Like, it doesn't have to be something major. It could be a paid workshop.
Mhm.
If you know anything about anything, I mean,
Yes. And most people do know something about something.
yes, then you could really start to create, a workshop. Obviously, you need people to market that
Mhm.
to. I have an email list of my own, which actually is not very big. Um, but it is very, very engaged people that have
Mhm.
kind of been with me for years. And I really utilize that to promote these paid workshops a lot.
And those are your
And
super
LinkedIn as
fans.
well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
LinkedIn, I think is good. Yeah, I know it and people are like, "What platform?" I even struggle with this, like, "What platform should I be on?" And the things. I don't know that that isn't important as if you're getting that feedback. Like, if you're getting inquiries, maybe for people who have specific questions, what are those questions? Like,
Yeah.
there's a product right there. People are asking for answers to this specific question, and especially if repeated, people are asking repeatedly. Everybody's always asking about this, always asking about that. Like have already found you. So,
Yeah.
wouldn't it be great to give them something? Give them a worksheet, give them a workbook, a template,
Yeah.
one video, yeah, anything really, I think is so much easier. And you can build on that then. You can build as you go, and as you get more questions and, be able
Yeah.
to. But I just think it's all like a great experiment. Like, and I think that course I'm not a fan because people don't get it launched, and then when they do, if you did, I don't know if you would see what you wanted to see from it. I
Yeah.
know people have successful courses, but I just don't think that it's realistic for somebody who's a service provider who is busy all day long
Yeah.
serving clients, to be able to kind of pull off this like huge big course. And I
Yeah.
think it also like it the price point of that, there's no middle ground, right? It's like the price point of that course and then working with you one on one. Where is
Yeah.
there's nothing for another group of people that I think is important
Exactly.
to serve.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, no, yeah. And I think so much of developing a digital product is literally just doing it too,
Hmm.
like just sitting down, and it's amazing what can happen when you just sit down and just
Hmm.
start.
Yes.
Like,
Mhm.
go sign up for the platform,
Mhm.
write down who your audience is, write down what their problem is, and figure,
Yes.
just start. That's
Mhm.
like the hardest part.
I've been working with a case study client now, and we've been looking at a lot of these platforms. So I've been signing up for a lot of these platforms and making videos for her, like, okay, well, this is how this one works, and this is what this one offers. And I've been thinking myself of doing some workshops or YouTube lives or something about, hey, today we're gonna look at Gumroad. Like, what is it all about? Let's dive into an
Yeah.
account. Here's how to create a product. Like, I feel like it might. I think that like signing up for the platform can be intimidating,
Yeah.
and maybe just watching somebody else do it and kind of like, "Oh, okay, well, it's not that
See?
hard." Like you're
Yeah.
you're kind of showing people. I don't know. I'm just kind of toying around with that. It's
Yeah.
like,
I
"Hey,
think
today
that
we're
would
gonna
be
do,
brilliant.
lemon
Yeah.
squeezy. Like here's another one." Like there's a ton of them out there. And all the course platforms and what they can do and what they
Yeah.
so I don't know.
It sounds daunting, but most
Mhm.
of these, it takes 2 minutes,
Mhm.
2 minutes to sign up for.
Yeah, and
So
once you find all the features and what exactly you're looking for, it's just like anything. There's a learning curve, and I think
exactly.
like, maybe having somebody kind of show you around, like you mentioned, having somebody like and hold you accountable to, I think that's really, really powerful.
Yeah. Huge.
Yay. Okay. Yeah. Well, thank you so much. So tell people where they can find you. Where do you want people to go to find you?
Oh, well, you can really find me on Instagram mostly, pretty much every day. I do a lot of Instagram stories and I do a lot of MailChimp tips and
Oh,
tricks,
awesome.
reels. So on Instagram, I'm Emily Ryan Likes, like likes your photo. So Emily Ryan Likes. And then on Twitter, I'm Emily Ryan Tweets.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm on social a lot. And our website for our agency is Westfield Creative. It's
Cool.
westfield-creative.com. If you need MailChimp help. Yeah. So
Yeah,
so
awesome.
thank
And I'll
you.
put all
This
those
was
links in
fun.
the notes and the places so people can click on them. But thank you so
Perfect.
much for being on the show today.
Yes, no, super fun. And now I'm like, oh gosh, I have so much I want to do.
We'll
So
talk.
excited. Well, thank you so much. This was
Awesome.
great.
Thank you. Okay, talk soon.
Hey, thanks for listening. I'd love to continue the conversation in your inbox. Email subscribe to hey@yfdp.show or sign up in the show notes to get bi-monthly emails about how you can create, launch, and market your first digital product. Can't wait to see you there.